Year 2077. The pinnacle of human sciences and technological advances. Earth was finally at peace, and America was able to secure its safety for its people, its plutonium, and its uranium-based technologies from those who wanted to use it against them. Or so they thought. That same year, in the month of October, life, as everyone knew it, would...
The fuck are you doing at my mic?
Who let you in here?
I thought... Exactly. Who allowed you to...
Just leave, Bill. Sorry, guys. Welcome, my loyal subjects.
Sup, fuckers.
As you probably guessed, we've brought you here...
Wait.
What?
You said there'd be boobs.
No, I said there'd be booze.
I prefer the other, but hey, I'm not turning down free beer. Well, losers, you get to hear us talk about Fallout 4.
Speculations, what to expect, and some lore. Not in that order, of course.
Oh, and since we have you here, go ahead and murder that like button like a Martian on a bad day.
While you're at it, subscribe. That helps out a lot. Well, let's get started.
The land of Fallout, fit for only the strongest, highly skilled, and cunning of all people.
Or all three in some cases. See, after the bombs of the nuclear holocaust dropped, the Earth, as far as we know, became a scarce wasteland.
Oh, so that's where my ex lives.
If so, she's probably dead, due to fallout that radiates any normal human being, with a few exceptions. Or she's a ghoul, a zombie-ish humanoid.
Well, if that's the case, I'll have to find her. Zombie girls really do it.
Anyway, the only way to surely survive was to go into these underground bunkers known as vaults.
So they locked themselves in giant metal and concrete walls, able to successfully avoid what I'd like to call a fuck ton of murder death.
Well put. But it wasn't as safe as you think. Human corruption can't even be stopped by the deadliest of threats.
Most of these vaults were used to do social and scientific experiments on the poor bastards that went in. Poor bastards.
To save anger and a bit of time, we'll skip the moral choices of some appointed overseers of a few vaults.
I wouldn't mind going to the one with 1,000 women and one major murder death.
Not all vaults subjected people to social guinea pigism. Some people came out and tried to make the wasteland better, such as members of the NCR,
stuck-up pussies,
Brotherhood of Steel,
uptight assholes,
and followers of the apocalypse,
nerds that I'll add bred one of the most evil badasses in gaming history, Kaiser, who runs the Legion.
I refuse to pronounce his name like that.
But Legion is not the only badass assholes. Raiders are scattered all over the waste.
But the factions pretty much keep them in check. Oh, but don't expect protection.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you unless you've got something to offer.
Which brings us to the Enclave, an organization that promotes propaganda to achieve its goal of ruling what used to be America.
And they used a giant super robot mutant killing machine to try. Oh, every word in that sentence made me jizz.
But it doesn't work. And the Enclave, with all of its technology and politics, disappeared. Or so we thought.
The Brotherhood seemed to crush what was left, and then took their precious knowledge.
While the followers of the apocalypse and the NCR focus on a man named Mr. House.
This guy has the will to live for 200 years in isolation, no human contact, absolutely no boobs. This is a man you do not fuck with.
Unless you have the ultimate plan to take over all of New Vegas. He was using pre-war life support system that kept his body and brain alive through everything.
Until you unplug him for kicks and giggles. Die, bastard.
But where does Fallout 4 come into play?
Badass Boston, New York.
What better way to start off a shiny American apocalypse game
other than bringing you back to where freedom and justice for all began. And good old blunderbusses. But blunderbusses didn't. Don't ruin this for me. Okay. Well, we know Fallout 4 is based in Boston, a town as American as it gets. Good old America. Where I can complain about paying too much for beer and toss drink cases of it at the pier. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course, Fallout will give mention to historical events such as the Boston Tea Party and its thoughts on taxes. And of course, the fucking Sons of Liberty. Boston was one of the main towns that aided in building America and expanding it westward. And home to some of the best battles and useless massacres. Yes, the open world game surely intends to use its new weapon firing system and new badass combat in a new Fallout. So far we know, customization is more in depth. You have to love a game where a random piece of wood can help you kill a man. Also, your character will have that new pre-war face and speech pattern to bring into the waste. Because he also lives 200 years. We'll talk about that later. Oh, right. We also know you will be building settlements brick by brick, keeping true to the colonization ways of old, but this is all up to you, of course. That you can deck out with sexy yet badass booby traps for those naughty raiders. Which means people you meet will get to live there. Man the boobies. Boobies, as in booby traps. Get it? On top of this, it will be taking place around the same time as Fallout 3, when the Enclave was still around. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. Without a doubt, this Fallout will be capitalizing on its own lore and on the lore of the city in which it is based, which should make for great story and badass gameplay. Now, our speculations. Since we know it takes place in the same time as Fallout 3, we have reason to believe the Enclave will play a major role in the storyline. We shoot them, or they help us. Furthermore, what's a better city to start a revolutionary war in? Meaning, we think we will be stuck in a power struggle between the NCR, or whatever government they're run by, the Brotherhood of Steel, and Legion forces. Oh, and of course the Enclave. The Raiders in your character will get stuck to either choose sides or go it alone. Depending on Vault 111, your character could be a pussy or a badass. He means, since we don't know the exact cause of his survival, it could be an accident or it could be planned. But we do have some ideas. The first being, you're a clone. You were picked because you carry the badass gene. So they decided to make a better version of you. A better genetically altered version of you. There's that. Or you could be a mutant. They perfected the evolutionary virus, but you're the only one with suitable DNA, which explains why you were the only one to survive. You also could be a badass fucking Robco robot with a brain inside of a synthetic body. Yeah. Or you could be cryogenically frozen. The wimp of the long-living world. That's a cop-out. Whatever it is, you have no memory of the time in between, or so it seems. So the first thing you do is open the door to the nuclear wasteland and adventure like a badass. And find a civilization with a few people, let's just call them the Sons of Liberty, which we are guessing is the name of the new faction, which sounds fucking sweet. But everything else is up for grabs. Where did you get the power armor? A Deathclaw? A fucking Deathclaw is an early enemy. I'm sorry. Those bastards are tough. Even for me. Why haven't the Brotherhood of Steel seized all the technology yet? Who the hell is the hooded creep? Let us know what you think. Now, if you watched us rant, good. you get to hear the end.
We here at Elastic Gaming would like to do more for our viewers, like giveaways, gifts, special mentions, newer content, better videos,
but that is all up to you. Click a few damn buttons and tell people to do the same.
We aren't asking for donations, but likes and subscribes would help. And comment, because an active audience keeps us going.
Just fucking do it!
This has been Elastic Gaming. Lore, facts, and more.
Tell us what games we should do next. And watch our other vids.
As always, thank you for being loyal subjects. I'm the Pumpkin King.
I'm Major Murdadeath, signing off. Why do you always sound like a pussy?
How do you mean I always sound like a pussy?
That's what I mean, you always sound like a pussy.